Hey, what is up everyone? In this video, I wanted to talk about the best categories to sell in when it comes to selling on Amazon FBA. Along with showing you the categories, I guess I'll give my personal thoughts and opinions on them, as well as provide a strategy to find potential brands that would sell well on Amazon. So let's get right into it. So now we're in Smart Scout. This is the software we're going to use, and we're under the subcategories tab. So we see here all the best categories are being filtered. Number one being home and kitchen at $4 billion in monthly revenue. And over here at number 30 would be appliances at $183 million in monthly revenue. So you can't possibly tell me that Amazon FBA is saturated when home and kitchen is generating $4 billion in monthly revenue alone. That's like close to $50 billion a year. Even if you capture 0.01% of this market, you're still going to make so much money. You're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is really mind-blowing if you really think about it. But here are the best categories to sell in. With home and kitchen products, you're going to be selling a lot of coffee machines, a lot of toasters, just literally electronics within the kitchen area. And I personally have sold a lot of these items and they are pretty good, but my personal opinion on them is they are on the pricier side. So you're going to be finding a lot of products closer to $100, and with specific items you should be very careful, just because some of them will be prone to a high return rate and that will eat up a lot of your profit. So just be careful with that. But it's definitely a very, very good category to sell in, although I don't recommend it if you're a beginner Amazon seller. The next would be health and household. Yeah, so this category is amazing. I do believe grocery falls into that. I sell a lot of groceries. Groceries are like probably the best niche to sell in my personal opinion, just because most of the items are non-returnable, which is beautiful because you just take 100% of the profit. The only downside of this is the items are smaller. A lot of them are sub $10, maybe even like sub $20, and some of them requires more prep work, such as polybagging or packs of twos or bubble wrapping, something of that nature. So it is more labor intensive and it takes a lot more effort to get a higher sales number. It is a trade-off. You get no returns. It's amazing, and it's doing $3.5 billion a month. So it's definitely a great category to go into if you're a beginner seller or if you're just a current seller in general. Next would be clothing, shoes, and jewelry. I also sell a lot in this category. There are a lot of returns. Like there are days where I get 60 to 70 returns, and it's great in the sense where there's a lot of demand. The products are oftentimes over $50 with back to school and then Black Friday and Christmas. The demand goes very, very crazy. But you're going to be dealing with a lot more competition because a lot of sellers, when they first start, they source Nike, they source Adidas, they source Puma. So they don't necessarily understand how to price, and a lot of the brands are more prone to price tanking, as well as returns. Returns are the worst when it comes to, selling clothing and shoes. So if you were to go into this category, I highly advise looking for products with at least 40% ROI. That way it could tank all the returns and whatnot. Moving on would be the books category. I personally do not have any experience selling books, although I know a few of my friends who have started in books, and it is also quite lucrative. But I personally believe just doing arbitrage online and retail arbitrage is just much better of your time, much better use of your time, and way more efficient. You could definitely scale much higher than just selling books. The next would be electronics. So with electronics, it's a lot easier to run up your millions on Amazon, just because say one tablet is like $500, maybe even $1,000. So the cost of the item is definitely up there. However, with products or brands like Apple or Samsung or even like Logitech, they're either being sold by Amazon, which is a big no-no, or you can't even get ungated for them to begin with. If you can get ungated for electronics, you're in a lot of luck, but for most people, they will not be able to ever sell this category. So in my personal opinion, don't spend and invest too much effort into this, as you're likely not able to get ungated at all. Next would be beauty and personal care. I also sell a lot of beauty items. They are amazing because there's a lot of demand. This is an evergreen product. So what evergreen is, so that means this product will sell every single month consistently. The only downside for beauty items is there are a lot of counterfeit items when it comes to Amazon. in the beauty space, and every so often Amazon does suspend sellers. Just understand what you're getting into, but overall beauty is, like a great category to go under, and it's also very, very popular amongst newer sellers. Next would be patio, lawn, and garden. This category is good because when summer hits, it does extremely well. However, with like winter time, it's very seasonal based, if that makes sense. So something that sells very well for you in the summertime may not sell as well in winter. So this category is great, and I just wanted to highlight, pros and the cons of selling this category. Next would be tools and home improvement. This category is good in the sense where there is a lot of demand and a lot of the products are a lot higher of a selling price. However, there's several products that are very, very heavy. They're very, very big. So very expensive to ship. Also kind of a headache to deal with returns just because of the cost associated with it. But if you're okay with that, go ahead. They're selling $1.7 billion a month, so they're doing very well. Next would be sports and outdoors. So if you sell sports equipment, it's very, very lucrative. Also very, very seasonal based. I do believe there are a lot of returns in this category. Just be aware. Next would be baby products. Baby products are good because very similar. They consistently sell on a monthly basis, and the brands that are very well known in the baby niche are very, very popular on Amazon. However, just be careful with the specific items you're selling. As a new parent, you'll be very sensitive with what you're providing your newborn baby with. You might want to be careful with that and ensure that the product you're selling 100% matches the product listing, so you don't get any, wrong product complaints. Pet supplies are good. I know a few of my friends, they sell a lot of pet food. Pet food is pretty good. Office products like pens, pencils, they are great, but they are on the lower price of things. So you're going to have to move a lot of volume to get your sales numbers up. Toys are good. However, with toys, you're going to deal with a lot of trends. So say when a movie comes out, so a new Avengers movie come out, a lot of those toys associated to that movie would be very hot, and over time it'll die down. You might also deal with a lot of supply chain problems where, there's just not enough stock going around altogether. So you're consistently going to have to be on top of trends when it comes to toys. Automotive, it's great, but a lot of the stuff is on the heavier side. That's what I would say from personal experience. So next is grocery and gourmet food. So I actually made a mistake and thought it was part of health and household. So health and household, I guess, would be more on like the vitamins, the nutritional side, which is great. You can sell plenty of brands on there. But with groceries, very, very similar to health and household. It is on the lower selling price. So you will have to sell massive volume to get your revenue up. But overall, no returns. It sells on a monthly basis, but it does require a lot more effort to prep. Next would be industrial and scientific. So this is more of a category that not too many people talk about, but overall, a great category to sell in, just because you can sell a lot of janitorial supplies, a lot of, poly bags, barcodes, printers, things like that, right? So industrial and scientific, also a very good and underrated category to sell on. So now you guys get a good understanding of the pros and cons for each category. I personally do not have a preference. Like I said, I sell a lot in grocery, a lot of health and household, a lot of clothing, but that's just me in general. A lot of sellers a lot of sellers do groceries and beauty when they first start off. So there's nothing wrong. But my personal tip is, if you were to choose a niche or the category to start going into, just stick with it because it's clearly profitable. The estimated monthly revenue here, they're doing billions a month. So it's definitely a very lucrative category. So every category is very, very lucrative. So if you're going to pick a category, just stick with it for several weeks and keep looking for items, because eventually the more you look, the easier it'll get and you gain advantages. So say for example, you spent 5 weeks straight looking into home and kitchen, retail stores, as well as home and kitchen brands and products. So someone like me who's been selling a lot of grocery items, I wouldn't know home and kitchen off the top of my head. So you already have an advantage over me. Stick with one niche and get really good at it. And that way you will make a lot of money very, very quickly. When it comes to looking for retail stores, what you can do is utilize ChatGPT. So here we have ChatGPT, and essentially if you want to look for home and kitchen retail stores, you can search home and kitchen retail stores near me. So you can search that, and then they'll ask for your city. So let's say New York City. So let's say New York City, and now we put in the city. ChatGPT would populate with like 10 different retailers that are very, very good, such as Bed Bath & Beyond, and then Williams Sonoma, IKEA, all of these, right? So that's a good benchmark and a good quote unquote lead on where you could begin looking for home and kitchen products. Another way that you could look into is use ChatGPT and utilize it to find specifically to your city, specifically to your town, or even just East Coast and West Coast. Now, in this example, I just did near me. So it really depends on the different type of prompts that you use. Play around with the prompts, the different keywords. You will find a lot of retail stores that you probably won't even think of off the top of your head just by using ChatGPT. This is just a shortcut in the sense where it will give you a good idea. You don't have to do as much thinking. So once you're on these retail stores, you could go through the discount section and find and look through products and compare them with Amazon. Another way that you can go about finding brands specifically in the subcategory for home and kitchen is if we go into Smart Scout and we think of home and kitchen, we could go into brands, which is on the left side here, and we could filter. So we could filter the category to home and kitchen. Let me just find that. Home and kitchen, and we see here, let's do Amazon in stock rate maximum 20%, so we don't have brands where Amazon is just dominating the buy box. What else? Average number of sellers, let's do 4+, so we eliminate all the private label brands, and let's search. So now we see 1,112 brands that fall into the home and kitchen category. So over here, you just see all these brands that sell very, very well. And then Yankee Candle, Jura, Willow Tree. So these brands are objectively good, and there are a lot of Amazon sellers on them, right? So with these brands, you could go under ChatGPT and search retailers that carry Yankee Candle in New York City or near me. So that's the direction that I would head towards if I was to look into a new category. And from there, just go down a very, very deep rabbit hole. And what I mean by that is once you find these retailers and you begin manual sourcing through these brands and these products and comparing them with Amazon, you will definitely find winning products. And amongst those winning products, you could begin storefront stalking, and you're likely going to find other sellers who also only sell in home and kitchen. And then that literally speeds up the process because then you have a whole bunch of new leads. And from there, you will unlock way more retail stores. And that's just the rabbit hole you want to go down towards. And by the way, everything that I'm mentioning, I'm talking from my own personal experience when it comes to selling on Amazon. So if you found this video valuable, I would really appreciate if you leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram and shoot me a message. But other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.